Good afternoon. It's 1:00 p.m. on Friday, February 7th, 2025. Welcome to the Committee on Housing and the Committee on Health and Human Services in a joint hearing. For the Committee on Housing, this is actually the first of 4 agendas today. The other 3 agendas, 113, 114, and 115, are going to be joint with the Water Land Committee in room 229. So for this first agenda, this meeting is being streamed live on YouTube. In the unlikely event that we have to abruptly end this hearing due to technical difficulties, the committees will reconvene to discuss any outstanding business on Tuesday, February 11th at 1 p.m. in room 225, this room, and a public notice will be posted on the legislature's website. We have a 1-minute per testifier time limit. If there are temporary technical glitches during your turn to testify via Zoom, we may have to move on to the next person due to time constraints. We appreciate your understanding and remind you that the committees have your written testimony. Okay, so for our 1 p.m. agenda, our first bill is Senate Bill 878 relating to kupuna housing. It extends the sunset date for the state rent supplement program for kupuna to 6/30/2028. Our first testifier is Statewide Office on Homelessness and Housing Solutions and Support.
Chair San Buenaventura, Chair Chang, members, thank you so much for allowing us to give our testimony in full support. You know, oftentimes the governor as well as First Lady and Chief of Staff will see kupuna that are out there that are homeless on the streets, and they instruct us to go out there and go and have service providers come around them to place them in the best proper kauhale. If that cannot happen, then we ourselves go out there and transport them. So kupuna are so near and dear and vital to our hearts that we're in full support of this measure.
Thank you. Hawaii Public Housing Authority in support. Thank you. Executive Office on Aging in support. Ellen Hawaii in support. Ellen Godby Carson in support. Johnny May Perry in support.
Not present on Zoom, Chair.
Thank you. And we also got late testimony from Catholic Charities Hawaii.
Thank you. I'm sorry for the testimony. I'm Betty Larson with Catholic Charities Hawaii, and we support this bill because it really helps seniors who have no other options to get off the streets or to avoid homelessness. We find that we have a housing assistance program that provides counseling to seniors who are 60 years and older, and in our wait list of 84, 75% are at imminent risk of becoming homeless. And one of these, we've given a story. It's a very typical CAP case where a woman in mid-70s, rent went up to equal to her Social Security income. She had no family, no resources, limited English. She was terrified. She came to us, and we would love to help her, but we don't have any immediate solutions. And this would be a solution that helps a senior, especially if they're in housing, to retain it, or even if they're homeless, to be able to go to a landlord and say, hey, I'm working with Catholic Charities. I'll have up to $500 a month for the rent. And so maybe that would help the landlord say, okay, I'll work with you. I'll give you the unit. Thank you very much for hearing our testimony.
Is there anyone else wishing to testify on SB 878? Okay, if not, I'll hand it over to Chair San Buenaventura for the next bill.
Okay, I have questions in 878. Ben, could you come on up? I think there is a little bit of confusion after John Mizuno's testimony. This bill basically is static, right? As far as how many people it actually helps. I mean, how many people, 34 households now, right?
50 kupuna households.
Or 50 kupuna households. And if we extend it, will we be able to have more households in it?
Yes, our contract calls up for up to 127 at least.
Okay,
kupuna
so
households.
Catholic Charities says that there's 84 on the wait list, is that correct?
I think it's 90.
90 in addition to the 30, in addition to the ones you've already are helping.
Yeah, so the 90 are actually pending. We're just waiting for documents.
Okay, so if we pass this, we will be able to fund those 90 households, additional 90 households?
Yes.
Terrific. Unless they're already on the wait list, though, we can't just get people off the street and put them on this program.
No, we've gone through our wait list already. That's kind of what took a little while for us to
Okay.
get this thing going.
That's what I thought. It's not just people off the street.
No, they will be applying.
They'll,
Yeah.
they'll need to apply.
Yeah,
Okay, thank you very much.
you're welcome.
Any, I don't have any further questions.
Any other
No, it's
questions?
okay. Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay, next up, we have SB 1610, relating to HANA zones. First up, we have Department of Human Services providing comments.
Good afternoon, Chair San Buenaventura, Vice Chair Aquino, Chair Chang, and Vice Chair Hashimoto, and members of the committees. Joseph Campos, Deputy Director, Department of Human Services. We stand on our written testimony, providing comments, deferring to HHS, as well as other departments that are involved, and would like to make a suggestion on an amendment. And that is that we would like to see a definition of kauhale be included within section 4, just to be able to focus the attention on what the committee's intent is.
Okay, thank you
That's
very
it.
much.
Thank you.
Next, we have Department of Taxation providing comments.
Aloha chairs, vice chairs, members of the committee, Garrison for Department of Taxation, and on our written testimony, providing comments and questions. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Next, we have Department of Land and Natural Resources providing comments.
Good afternoon, chairs, vice chairs, members of the committees. Luke Sarvis with Department of Land and Natural Resources. We stand in our written testimony offering comments and will be available for questions.
Okay, thank you very much. Next, we have John Mizuno, Office of, I forgot it, what it is, Housing and Homeless Solutions. In support.
Thank you, Chair San Buenaventura, Chair Chang, Chair Hashimoto, Vice Chair Hashimoto, and Vice Chair Aquino, and members of the committee. My name is Raina Purvis, and I work with John Mizuno's office, statewide office on housing, homelessness and housing solutions. We're offering some amended testimony on Bill 1610, Senate Bill 1610, related to HANA zones. We support this measure so long as this does not supplant any funding currently focused to the statewide office on homelessness and housing solutions. We support the funding for Ohana zones for the statewide office to be used for numerous homelessness services, such as, but not limited to, basic individual needs of individuals, families who are homeless or facing housing instability, wraparound social services, representing social, health, transportation, and other support services focused on alleviating homelessness, poverty, and poverty with the goal of transitioning individuals and families facing homelessness or housing instability.
Okay, we need you to wrap up. We do have your written testimony, so you don't need to read it.
Thank you, ma'am. We're grateful for the support of the Ohana Zone projects, and we appreciate support to ensure the enduring continuation of Ohana Zone through our office. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, next we have Kauai County Housing Agency and support. Okay. And then we have Tom Yamachika providing comments. Please proceed.
Thank you, chairs, vice chairs, members of the committees. Tom Yamachika from Tax Foundation. We will stand on our written comments and be available for questions.
Thank you very much. Anybody else wishing to testify on SB 1610?
We have one more participant on Zoom, Chair.
Okay, please proceed. Identify yourself. Okay, you have 1 minute, Angela.
Chairs, in strong support. This is for the senior housing program?
No, this is for Ohana zones.
Oh, okay. I was going to testify for the senior housing program, but never mind.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, anybody else wishing to testify on SB 1610? Members, any questions? Okay, seeing none, are we ready to roll into decision making? Okay,
All right, so for Senate Bill 878, relating to Kupuna housing, Chair's recommendation will be to pass this measure unamended. Members, do you have any questions or discussion? Okay, so for Senate Bill 878 for the Committee on Housing, Chair's recommendation will be to pass unamended. Chair votes aye.
Members, SB 878, Chair's recommendation is passed with amendments. Chair votes unamended. Chair votes aye. Vice Chair votes aye. Senator Aquino.
Aye.
Senator Kanuha. Aye. Senator Favela. Is excused. Chair recommendation is adopted.
okay, for, Health and Human Services, same recommendation, Vice Chair for the vote, Chair votes aye.
Okay, voting on Senate Bill 878, recommendation is to pass as is. Chair votes aye, Vice Chair votes aye. Senator Hashimoto.
Aye.
Senator Keokolole is excused. Senator Favela is excused. Recommendation is adopted, Chair.
Okay, thank you very much. For SB 1610, Chair's recommendation is to pass with amendments. We are going to add in, we're going to have technical amendments as needed for clarity and consistency. We're also going to accept DHS's proposed amendments to ensure that kauhalas are considered to be part of the Ohana Zones program. And we're going to defect date this. The reason, I don't see the Director of Housing and Homelessness being here, but the reason for this bill is the WHAM info briefing where the budget would actually be removed in favor of this bill. So if this bill doesn't pass, OHHS may not have funding. So it won't supplant anything of the, in OHHS budget. It's basically to ensure that there is a delineation between the temporary Ohana zones and the kauhalas, which are more semi-permanent. Okay, with that discussion passed with amendments, any comments, questions, or concerns? Seeing none, Vice Chair for the vote.
Okay, thank you, Chair. Senate Bill 1610, recommendation is to pass as a SD1. Okay, noting the excused absences of Senators Keokolole and Favela. Any reservations, any noes? Recommendation is adopted, Chair.
With that, you are adjourned.
Thank you. And for the Committee on Housing, same recommendation for SB 1610 to pass with amendments. Chair votes aye.
Members, SB 1610, Chair's recommendation is passed with amendments. Chair votes aye. Noting the excuse of Senator Favela. Any members voting with reservations? Any members voting no? Without others voting aye, recommendation is adopted.
Thank you very much. There being no further business on this agenda, the joint committees are now adjourned.
Calling on the 105 calendar for Health, Human Services, and Labor and Technology. I'd also like to note that we have multiple joint committee hearings today. Right after this would be Health, Human Services, and Consumer Protection. And after that would be Agriculture and Environment, and Health and Human Services. And the 3 o'clock is going to be in another room. But for right now, the 105 calendar for Health, Human Services, and Labor. First up, we have SB 1496 relating to civil rights. Do we have an ASL? Is our ASL interpreter available? Are you ready, ASL interpreter? Okay, because this is a deafblind task force bill, we will allow 2 minutes for this hearing. Okay, this is being streamed live on YouTube. In the unlikely event that we may need to cancel or something occurs, then we are going to reconvene on Monday at 1 p.m. at this same, February 10th, 2025, at this same conference room. For those on YouTube, your audio will be muted and video disabled until it's your turn to testify. So first up, for SB 1496, we have Director Yamane providing comments. Next, we have Hawaii State Council on Developmental Disabilities in support. Please proceed.
Yes, Danger Bartoldes, Executive Director for the Hawaii State Council on Developmental Disabilities, and we're going to stand on our testimony in strong support. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Next, we have James Gashel, National Federation of the Blind, in support. James Gashel, are you present? Please
Okay,
proceed.
thank you, Madam Chair, Vice Chairs, and members. James Gashel here representing National Federation of the Blind. I'm going to stand on our written testimony, but I just want to add, with a special note about this bill. Of course, in some ways, this speaks to issues that are also covered under the Americans with Disabilities Act and Hawaii Statute 489, the Public Accommodation Statute. But with respect to Americans with Disabilities Act, the current administration has put a hold on all enforcement of civil rights. There's a great de-emphasis on DEI and accessibility issues in the federal government. And we've definitely been advised that we should ask our states to strengthen our laws in this area, which gives rise to the need for this amendment. And mahalo for considering this bill.
Okay, thank you very much. Next, we have Eleanor McDonald, Deaf and Blind Task Force, in support. Louis Urchik, Hawaii Disability Rights Center, in support. Peter Fritz, providing comments. Peter, are you present on Zoom? Please proceed. After that, we'll have Donald Sakamoto. Peter, are you present? Please proceed.
The video didn't start right away. Okay, I'm Peter Fritz. I'm an attorney. I do a lot of advocacy for individuals with disabilities. I am a member of the Deaf Blind Task Force. My comments relate to first, this bill doesn't expand any particular rights that anybody has under the ADA right now. Basically, you can sue. There are no federal regulations right now regarding website accessibility. Those regulations only exist for government entities. There's a question in my mind regarding whether or not there are sufficient minimum contacts from somebody who's totally off island, has no connection other than their website. And as we know, that was a big issue for taxation issues that was resolved by the Supreme Court deciding that there had to be a certain amount of minimum contacts. There's absolutely nothing in this law that really indicates that, and there's no case law that I'm aware of that would address that. This bill uses WCAG 2.1. However, it should be noted that that's only good for the Department of Justice and government websites. Other standards that are being used and are still being used now are 2.0. So if the standard changed, this bill would have to be amended at some point in the future to incorporate those standards, and there needs to be some resolution of what standards apply under which circumstances. A greater concern is the approval. The effective date on this is upon signing. So we're going to impose these new rules with new standards that haven't been used before and tell websites that they have to go and make adjustments and comply with these particular rules. There are a number of other procedural issues. I don't know how much time I have left, but it is a source of concern, and perhaps this law is premature, and Hawaii may not have the jurisdiction over those particular mainland companies that have a presence only online. And those types of questions really should be answered. But none of the remedies at this point have been added
Okay,
to
Peter,
this
we need
particular
you to
bill.
wrap up.
Okay. I think there's an issue that needs to be addressed regarding jurisdiction, and it needs to be done because there's no case law regarding websites and
Thank
state
you.
law.
Thank
And
you very
second,
much.
okay,
Thank you,
thank you.
Peter. Donald Sakamoto, please proceed.
Yes, Chair, thank you, Vice Chair. Members, Donald Sakamoto for record. I support this bill. It needs to have something in it to proceed on. So my famous quote in my testimony written, by failing to prepare, you are failing to prepare. By failing to prepare, you are preparing to fail by Benjamin Franklin. So I agree with the bill that needs to be passed on. That's all I have to say on my testimony. Mahalo.
Okay, thank you very much. Next, we have Ann Lemke providing comments, Barbara Service in support, B.A. McClintock in support, Mariah Nichols in support, Virgil Stinnett in support, Brandon Young in support, Marie Kuthoff in support, Katie Kine in support, Jack Lewin, Dr. Lewin, come on up, from Hawaii State Health Planning and Development Agency in support.
Chair San Buenaventura, Vice Chair Aquino, honorable members. Yes, SHPTA is in full support of this. There may be some technical issues, as mentioned, that have to be adjusted in terms of how we implement. But I would like to just comment, in addition to this, for persons with disability, our kupuna throughout the islands, particularly in rural areas, have a similar kind of lack of access. So we should consider that as we approach this in the future. This one obviously applies to civil rights in a particular way, but we have a larger challenge. Just wanted to mention that, and thank you for the ability to testify today.
Thank you very much, Dr. Lewin. Anybody else wishing to testify on SB 1496?
Chair, we have one more participant on Zoom.
Okay, okay, let's do the Zoom. Please identify yourself and then we'll have DCAT. Who is on Zoom?
Kaeo Wright.
Kaeo Wright, please turn on your audio and turn on your video.
Good morning, everybody, or afternoon. This is Kaeo Wright, and I am in support of this testimony, of this bill. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you very much for participating. Okay, anybody else on Zoom on SB 1496? Okay, now we have Disability Communications Access Board. Please proceed.
Hi, good afternoon, chairs and committee members. My name is Brian Mick. I'm here on behalf of our Executive Director, Kirby Shaw. The Disability and Communication Access Board is in support of Senate Bill 1496. We just would note that most places of public accommodation provide information or transactions in a digital format, and so inaccessible information and communication technology effectively excludes people with disabilities from participation in what's otherwise an everyday experience for other people. So obviously some technical issues got mentioned, so we would urge you to pass out an amended bill. And apologize, we got in our testimony, written testimony very late today, but we did submit it just prior to the hearing. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Anybody else wishing to testify on SB 1496? Members, any questions? Can we go on to decision making? Okay, so for SB 1496, we have Chair's recommendation is to pass this with tech amendments. We note Peter Fritz's testimony that we may not be ready, so we're going to add in a defective date, and hopefully we can iron it out by time of conference. Any comments, questions, or concerns? Seeing none, pass with amendments for HHS.
Okay, Senate Bill 1496, recommendation of the chairs to pass with amendments. Chair and Vice Chair vote aye. Senator Hashimoto.
Aye.
Senator Keokolole is excused. Senator Favela is excused. Recommendation is adopted, Chair. And for the Labor and Technology Committee, same recommendations.
Thank you.
Any questions or concerns? Seeing none, Vice Chair. That was weird.
Voting on Senate Bill 1496, Senator Aquino.
Aye.
Vice Chair votes aye. Senator Ihara is excused. Senator Moriwaki.
Aye.
And Senator Favela excused. Chair, your recommendation is adopted.
Okay, thank you. And with that, the joint Hearing on HHS and LBT is adjourned. Calling the 110 calendar for Health, Human Services, and Commerce and Consumer Protection. First up, we have SB 404 relating to service animals. Again, because this is the deaf-blind task force bill, we will allow 2 minutes for testimony because we have an ASL interpreter. First up, we have Attorney General providing comments.
Good afternoon, chairs, vice chairs, and members of the committee. My name is Leanne Brewer, Deputy Attorney General. We provide comments on this bill, pointing out a possible constitutional issue and a concern that there is no enforcement mechanism. I remain available for questions. Thank you for the opportunity to testify.
Okay, thank you very much. Next, we have Director Yamane providing comments for Department of Human Services.
Good afternoon, chairs. My name is Gavin Abe, testifying on behalf of Director Ryan Yamane. We appreciate the intent of this measure, and we defer to Hawaii Civil Rights Commission, DCAB, and the Attorney General's office. If you have any questions, I'll be available for comment. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next, we have DCAB and support.
Good afternoon, Chair. We stand on our written testimony. We just wanted to clarify that the 2 sections of full replacement that we recommended in our written testimony, they are simply a language to adopt the recommendations that we made, which were to identify an enforcement agency, to require professionals who provide documentation confirming someone's disability for an ESA or a service animal, to also provide the notice, and require sellers of paraphernalia to provide the notice as well, and specifically stating that the items such as vests, certificates, etc., that you might be able to buy online do not deem the animal an emotional support animal or a service animal.
Okay, thank you very much. Next, we have Virgil Stinnett, National Federation of the Blind, in support. James Sugimura and Raylan Tenno, Hawaii Council of Community Associations, in support. Richard Emery, Hawaii First Realty, in support. Philip Nerney, in support. Raylan Tenno, in support. Ellen Owai, in support. Anybody else wishing to testify on SB 404? Is there anyone on Zoom?
No one on Zoom, Chair.
Okay, members, any questions for SB 404? Okay, seeing none, may we roll on to decision making? Chair's recommendation at this time, because of Attorney General's concerns, is to defer this, and we need to work on it in the interim. And with that, we are adjourned on the joint HHS-CPN hearing. Thank you.
All right, good afternoon. We're convening the Joint Committees on Transportation and Culture and the Arts and Health and Human Services on our 1:15 p.m. agenda here in State Capitol Conference Room 225. We have 2 bills up today, beginning with Senate Bill 1526 relating to the Drug and Alcohol Toxicology Testing Laboratory. On 1526, testifying first is the Department of Health. We have comments, Department of Law Enforcement in support, as well as, these are all in support, Hawaii County Police Department, Maui County Department of the Prosecuting Attorney, County of Kauai Office of the Prosecuting Attorney, and 1 individual. That's all the testimony that's been submitted. Is there anyone else wishing to testify? All right, if not, seeing as there's no one to ask questions of, why don't we move on to the next measure, Senate Bill 1492 relating to mobility management. And testifying first on 1492 is the Department of Human Services. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Chairs. Gavin Abe on behalf of Director Ryan Yamane. Again, we appreciate the intent of the measure. We defer to the Department of Transportation providing comment, and we also respect that any appropriation not reduce or replace priorities identified in the executive budget. Thank you.
Thank you. Up next is the Hawaii State Council on Developmental Disabilities.
Aloha, Chair Lee and committee members. My name is Shelley Lyons, and I'm an intern for the Hawaii State Council on Developmental Disabilities, and I'm here on behalf of Daintree Bartoldes, and we stand on written testimony and support. Thank you.
Thank you. We have testimony and support from the Executive Office on Aging, Oahu Metropolitan Planning Organization, AARP Hawaii. Up next is the National Federation of the Blind online. Did it freeze?
IT, is there anyone online?
Yes, we have Donald Sakamoto online.
Oh, yes. Mr. Sakamoto, please proceed. All right, we'll circle back to Mr. Sakamoto. In the meantime, we have testimony and support also from Kylie online.
Hey, Chair. Yes, Chairs, Vice Chairs, Donald Sakamoto. I just want to testify in this bill, very important. I worked on this bill actually with mobility management in 2013, 2014. As written in my testimony. It was submitted in 2015, this bill as SB 297. It was reintroduced in 2023 as HB 415, did not pass. And then it was introduced last year as SB 3002 HD2, and I really would like to have this bill passed because we have a lot of elderly people and disabled on the neighbor islands that are being impacted with transportation. Transportation is a key. And thank you, Senator Ventura, for introducing this bill again, as well as last year. And we need to prepare and pass this bill this session, not later. And my favorite quote: "By failing to prepare, you're preparing to fail," by Benjamin Franklin. So mahalo for allowing me to speak on this particular bill. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And Kylie Swan.
Good morning, Chair, Vice Chair, and committee members. My name is Kylie Swan. I'm a big supporter of this bill because I use transportation a lot. I use Skyline and the bus. If you please pass this measure so we can pay for our budget, like using our HOLO card to pay for transportation. Please let me know if you have any questions you may have, and thank you for listening to my testimony.
Thank you very much. That's all the testimony we have on this measure. Is there anyone else wishing to testify? And seeing none, are there any questions? And seeing none, all right, that's the end of our 1:15 p.m. agenda.
And it's also the end of the deafblind task force bills.
Give it this.
Do whatever you
Okay. All right, well, chairs having conferred, why don't we go into decision making on our agenda, beginning with, oh, you know what? Take a quick recess. All right, we're reconvening the Joint Transportation, Culture and the Arts, and Health and Human Services Committees on our 1:15 p.m. agenda for decision making. We're just waiting for quorum. Both committees having conferred, we'd like to recommend on the first measure, Senate Bill 1526, relating to the Drug and Alcohol Toxicology Testing Laboratory, moving this forward to the Ways and Means Committee. So the recommendation is to pass with amendments, making technical amendments. Is there any discussion? If not, Acting Vice Chair for the vote, please.
SB 1526, Committee on TCA. Chair's recommendation is to pass with amendments. Chair Lee.
Aye.
Vice Chair Inouye is excused. Senator Elefante.
Aye.
I vote aye. Senator DeCourt.
Aye.
Chair, you have 4 ayes. Recommendation is adopted.
Thank you.
Okay, for HHS, same recommendation, Vice Chair for the vote, pass with amendments.
Okay, Senate Bill 1526, recommendation of the chair is to pass as SD1. Chair and Vice Chair vote aye. Senator Hashimoto.
Aye.
Senator Keokolole.
Aye.
Senator Favela is excused. Recommendation is adopted, Chair.
Thank you. Moving on to Senate Bill 1492 relating to mobility management. I'll just note that the dollar amounts in this bill are blanked out. So when we move this ahead, as is, to the Ways and Means Committee. There's no discussion. Vice Chair for the vote.
Recommendation SB 1492, Committee on TCA, is to pass unamended with 4 members present, noting the excused for Senator Inouye. Are there any with reservations? Any no votes? Chair, your recommendation is adopted.
Same recommendation for SB 1492. Committee reports can request Department of Transportation to provide us with a dollar amount. Any comments, questions, concerns? Seeing none, Vice Chair for the vote.
Okay, Senate Bill 1492, recommendation is to pass as is. 4 members are present. Any reservations? Any noes? Recommendation is adopted, Chair.
All right, thank you. We're adjourned.
Hello, Mike Kako, and good afternoon. Mahalo for joining today's Agriculture, Environment, and Health and Human Services Joint Committee. It's February 7th, and we're convened in room 225 and video conferencing, which includes audio and video of remote participants. It's being streamed live on YouTube. In the unlikely event that the hearing gets cut short for whatever reason, we will be on Monday, February 10th, we will handle any outstanding business in the time slot for AEN. And because of the 90-minute time limit for hearings, there will be a 1-minute time limit for all testifiers, and we'll have a virtual countdown timer on the Zoom screen. We do have a long agenda, so if you'd like to stand on your testimony, that is certainly permitted. And we'll start off with SB 271, relating to statewide composting, requiring the Department of Health to adopt or amend rules to establish a classification system for composting facilities for operations, allows composting and co-composting in the agricultural district, including on lands with Class A or Class B soil. First up is Department of Ag. Department of Ag has comments. OPSC, Office of OPSC.
Aloha chairs, vice chairs, members of the committee. My name is Danielle Bass, State Sustainability Coordinator from the Office of Plan and Sustainable Development. In terms of, actually, our testimony offers comments specifically in terms to Part 3, which pertains to the land use chapter. We strongly support the use of composting to the fact that the legislature already passed these provisions in HRS Chapter 205, Section 2, as well as Section 4.5 in 2022. So we applaud the legislature for their work on those measures, and I'm available for any comments. Thank you.
Thank you, Danielle. Next is Department of Health.
Good afternoon, chairs, vice chairs, and committee members. My name is Glenn Hawai'i. I'm with the Department of Health. The department stands on its written testimony opposing this bill. We're opposing this bill, Part 2 mainly of this bill, which is requiring DOH to establish a classification system by adopting rules. We already have a tiered system for composting operations that we have in our rules. And so there are provisions for exemptions, a simple permit, and a more general permit for more concerning types of operations. We are also in the process of actually amending our rules to address issues that have recently come up regarding certain composting operations, including new contaminants of concern like PFAS. And so we're standing on our testimony. We thank you for the opportunity to testify, and I'm available for any questions.
Thank you very much. Next is Hunter Hedlund from the Hawaii Farmers Union.
Good afternoon, Chair, Vice Chairs, committee members. Hunter Hedlund on behalf of Hawaii Farmers Union. You have our written testimony in support. We really are in support of the intent of this measure as one to try and expand the resource base for conservation agricultural practices to be adopted by producers across the state by addressing solid waste diversion and composting to process that waste. We view this as an opportunity to hopefully expand access to a local resource that can support good agricultural practices. Thank you.
Thank you, Hunter. Next is Brian Miyamoto, Hawaii Farm Bureau.
Good afternoon, chairs, vice chairs, members of the committees. Brian Miyamoto here on behalf of the Hawaii Farm Bureau. You have a written testimony providing comments. We have concerns with this measure. Currently, state law already allows composting on ag land using the farmer's own green waste and for their own uses. This expands it. We are concerned about the expansion of this, especially that A and B lands are being considered, again, as an additional use that's not primarily ag. Okay, we support composting, but also with this surge of invasive species, why are we considering, we know green waste is a vector, why are we considering moving in and out of different parcels, different farms to potentially spread green waste? And if this bill does move forward, we want to make sure that the Department of Health has complete oversight regardless of the size of the operations. Again, we already allow composting for the farmers' use with their own green waste to prevent the spread of invasive species. And we support composting, but we have a lot of concerns with this measure and what it potentially could do and the unintended consequences of this bill. Thank you for the opportunity to testify.
Anyone else wishing to testify on this measure, either online or in person? Members, are there any questions?
Yes, Brian Miyamoto. So, Hawaii Island had mulching, which isn't exactly composting, but we found that, personal use, when we went to go get the mulch from the county landfill, we found red ants. And in other places, coqui frogs. So do you know whether or not we could, I support composting, we do it at home, but do you see whether or not the county has the ability to cut down invasive species if this bill is passed?
Brian Miyamoto, Hawaii Farm Bureau. Could you repeat the question,
Okay.
Chair?
No, based upon the experience Hawaii County had with county-run mulching and the potential spread of red ants and coqui frogs, do you believe that the state, if we pass this, would have the same kind of problems with invasive species proliferation?
Thank you, Chair. Yes, this is going to expand composting and co-composting, and we're struggling as it is right now. So again, we're being cautious and not to detract from our desire for composting, for waste diversion, mulching, all of what you're describing, but there are risks here. And again, the bill's also suggesting A and B lands. And again, those are our most productive lands. So yes, I think, it's a resource issue. It is an education issue, understanding those risks and those dangers with composting and with the proliferation of fire ant, coqui frogs, coconut rhino speedo, which we know that's where the larvae are. I think the legislature should really consider measures like this and how we can mitigate it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? Moving on to SB 1298, related to recycling, allows manufacturers to coordinate activities directly related to the recycling of covered electronic devices. Expands the scope of covered electronic devices to include electronic device peripherals and certain legacy devices. Requires manufacturers to provide free collection service locations and collection events. First up is Department of Health.
Good afternoon, chairs, vice chairs, and members of the committees. Leino Tu for Department of Health, and we stand on our written testimony providing comments on the measure.
Thank you very much. Roy Cadota from Mr. K's Recycle and Redemption Center. Online. Is Roy there on Zoom?
For Department of Health, and we stand on our written testimony providing comments.
Roy, can you hear me?
Thank you very much.
Mr. Cadota.
Yeah, I have written testimony, and I also want to say a little bit more than that. And it's to do with, unlike like the Big Island, we have refuge yards, and they're getting pretty crowded. We have about 15 to 20 years on it left. We're a half mile from the pristine lands in Waikoloa. So all these electronics that are going in there and not being recycled is the problem. In Honolulu also, there's no landfills also in Honolulu also, they're getting really bad. The H3 power plant is taking all of the electronics that are at the curbside, which should be and going to H3 power plant. So you and I are smelling toxic fumes of mercury, lead, plastics. So that's an issue. On the positive side, we would like the 20 to 30% for the peripherals. That's a good stance. And the standalone printers added, that's another good stance. What we don't like is the penalties, and no penalties, no accountability is what we're trying to say. So without no penalties, though, they have no accountability. There'll be less collections. I collect 5 times a week now. They want to do once a month at the Hilo site and Kona site. I do 6 and 5. They want 4.
Mr. Cadota, thank you very much for your testimony. Mr. Cadota, can you hear me? Mr. Cadota.
Of a container last year.
Can't hear me.
But we're thinking of doing it again.
Okay, thank you for your testimony. Next is Ryan Toyomura and Mihoko Ito from the Consumer Technology Association by Zoom. Oh, in person. Mihoko?
Thank you. Thank you, chairs, vice chairs, members of the joint committees. Mihoko Ito on behalf of Consumer Technology Association. I believe we have Ali Peck from CTA also on Zoom to answer any technical questions. But briefly, what this bill aims to do is fix 2 issues. One is to address the unattainable 70% weight target set in the current law. And second, to expand the recycling footprint and also what can be recycled. So manufacturers in this bill are willing to invest in the infrastructure to make this happen by addressing the physical locations, the 25 zip codes, and adding additional locations on the Big Island and Molokai. We recognize that the current laws haven't done enough to address the e-waste recycling footprint, and during the interim, we met with many groups and stakeholders, including the counties, on how to improve the law and add new sites. We're open to feedback on what can be done, but wanted to note that even in the state with the most robust law, which is probably Oregon, there's only 50% of e-waste by weight coming back. So that's what we're trying to address here is we know we can't get to the 70%. We asked the committee to keep the bill moving so we can work with the Department of Health and other stakeholders to address and refine the bill. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Anyone else wishing to testify on SB 1298? Members, are there any questions? Okay, moving on to SB 1633, relating to hemp, hooray. This establishes a green building tax credit for costs related to the construction of a primary structure made with at least 30% Hawaii-grown hemp material. Allows any hemp processor with a permit from the Department of Health to sell an edible or beverage cannabinoid product that contains THC of not more than 2.5 milligrams per serving and not more than 25 servings per package. Prohibits the sale of an edible or beverage cannabinoid product to any person less than 21 years of age. establishes child-resistant packaging requirements for edible cannabinoid products, clarifies the THC limit for a non-edible legacy cannabinoid product or manufactured hemp product shall be subject only to federal restrictions, amends the definition of hemp biomass to include stalks and foliage material, requires the DOH to establish a dedicated hemp program to regulate hemp that is separate from the regulatory process for cannabinoid products with a high concentration of THC. First up is Department of Health.
Good afternoon, chairs. I'm Lynn Boulay. I am the acting program manager for the Office of Medical Cannabis Control and Regulation. We stand on our written testimony offering comments. We are concerned about the proposed THC limits, particularly in the hemp cannabinoid products, and we are here to answer any of your questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Gary Suganuma from Department of Taxation.
Good afternoon, Chair, Vice Chair, members of the committee. Clinton Piper, Department of Taxation. You're in receipt of our written testimony. I just want to highlight two concerns that the department did have. The first would be stating our preference that the credit be a non-refundable credit, simply to make it a less tempting target for fraud and bad actors. And then second, our preference that there be a third-party certification, as we lack the subject matter expertise necessary to easily administer the credit. Beyond that, I'll be available for questions.
Thank you very much, Clinton. Next is Andrew Goff from the Attorney General's Office. Okay, person.
Aloha, chairs and members. Andrew Goff, Deputy Attorney General. Our department does oppose this bill for reasons that we've outlined in our written testimony. I would point out that the tax credit includes a Hawaii grown element that could be potentially constitutionally problematic from a dormant commerce clause perspective, and we've asked that it strike the Hawaii grown element. Secondly, I think the expanded hemp products might be illegal and unregulated. The term non-edible legacy cannabinoid product is very broad and could actually include illegal cannabis products, smokable products like flower and vapes that are currently prohibited. And they are not subject to any restrictions, including any public health restrictions, any testing requirements, any product packaging requirements, or age gating. We have, if the intention here is to allow permittees to sell specific products that are created from hemp, we have suggested an amendment that would do that. And my department is available to work with you folks if you want different products in there or different specifics in there, and we'd be happy to help you.
Thank you very much. Jerome Picaro from HPD.
Good afternoon, Chair, Vice Chair, and members of the committee. My name is Alan Oku. I'm a sergeant with the Honolulu Police Department's Narcotics Vice Division. I'm here on behalf of Captain Jerome Picaro, who was unable to make it today. As you guys have already received his written testimony, we oppose the Senate Bill 1633 as provided by Captain Picaro.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Tai Chang from Hemptuary, Hawaii, online on Zoom.
Not present on Zoom, Chair.
Next, Tom Yamachika from the Tax Foundation of Hawaii on Zoom.
Also not present on Zoom, Chair.
And also Lauren Zerbel from the Hawaii Food Industry Association on Zoom. Oh, in person. Thank you very much. And then Robert Bentz on Zoom.
Hello, Chair, Vice Chair, members of the committee. Stand on my written testimony in support of this bill. Robert Bentz, longtime farmer in Kula and member of the Hemp Task Force. The bill only allows Hawaii farmers to compete with what is already widely available online and everywhere from all the other states. Hawaii has the most restrictive hemp program in the world. None of us are even competing in this state because it's not viable. Like every other state allows 5 milligrams. So this 2.5 milligrams is half of the majority of other states allow. A grant would be a better system because especially non-refundable tax credit, there's no hemp farmer that's gonna be able to benefit from that.
Thank you,
So
Robert. Your
I
time's up.
like
Thank you very
that.
much for your testimony.
Thank you.
Thank you. And Ted Bowen from Climate Protectors Hawaii.
Thank you, Chairs, Vice Chairs, members of the committee. Ted Boland for Climate Protectors Hawaii. We support the portion of this bill that relates to using hemp for building materials. I have no opinion about the rest of the bill, but this is an opportunity for Hawaii to develop an industry, green jobs that are going to save us with climate emissions and also provide a boost to the economy. I urge you to pass the bill. I'm available for questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ted. Anyone else wishing to testify on SB 1633, please come forward.
Good afternoon. Thank you, chairs and vice chairs. My name is Robert Bramlett. I'm the Director of Education for Rare Cannabinoid Company. We're a Manoa-based company. We've been around since 2017. I've held the position since 2020. Mostly I teach doctors what they want to learn about cannabis when they want to learn it. We're in support of this bill. I just want to bring one thing to your attention. On section 2, subsection A, there's a limit of 25 servings. We would like to ask that it is moved to 30 servings, which is consistent with a month. And that's consistent with the majority of the industry throughout the country. We have a presence in about 35 states. So it would have to be very specific products made just for Hawaii, whereas if it were 30, then that would be something where nothing would have to miss a beat, and the industry could at least have a product. And having that 2.5 milligrams of THC, I just want you guys to understand, I'm here for questions. But with hemp, the 15th ingredient is THC, right? The first ingredient is CBD. And then with marijuana, the first ingredient is THC. So if you want THC, you want marijuana, right?
Your time's up, sir. Thank you very much for your testimony.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, and then moving on to SB 984, relating to water pollution, requires a landowner in possession of 10,000 or more acres to be liable for damages and fines arising from runoff originating on the land and entering into state waters or into state lands. Requires the Department of Health to adopt rules as necessary for the purposes of this provision. First up, Department of Health.
Good afternoon, Chair, Vice Chair, and members of the committee. My name is Scott Measure. I'm with the Department of Health. We stand by our written comments, and I'm here to answer any questions.
Great. Thank you. Brian Miyamoto from Hawaii Farm Bureau.
Thank you, Chair. The Hawaii Farm Bureau is down on this written testimony in opposition.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else wishing to testify on this measure? Members, any questions? Hearing none, with that, I'll...
Chair, quick
Yes.
question, Department of
Okay.
Health.
Senator DeCoy?
So to what extent has Department of Health enforced water pollution regulations in rural areas where we have been reports of runoff and other forms of water pollution?
Yeah, so as far as the rural areas, I know that so I'm with the non-point source program, but on our point source program, NPDS, there has been enforcement, but it's to state waters. So I think part of the way that the bill is written is to state lands, which I know that if there's damage to state lands, it's my understanding that Department of Land and Natural Resources would take action. But as far as the Department of Health is any type of discharge to state waters is where we would do an enforcement. So there has been enforcement actions for runoff from land, but it's only to state waters.
So I guess the ocean wouldn't be considered state waters then?
Yeah,
It would
so
be
we've had,
DNR.
well, if it's natural resource damage to like the near shore waters or to like coral reefs.
So if the runoff and sediment on the coral reefs and the damages to the coral reef would you now be involved?
So we would be more looking at the impact to the water quality. And so that's kind of where we make the distinction. So then that again is with the clean water branch.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Chair.
Okay, thank you. And with that, I'll turn over the rest of the agenda to the Chair of the Health and Human Services, Senator Sam Ventura.
Okay, thank you very much. So for SB 513 relating to water, first up, we have Environmental Health Administration, Department of Health providing comments.
Thank you, Chairs, Vice Chairs, committee members. John Nagato, on behalf of the Department of Health. The department stands on its written testimony providing comments, and I just wanted to add, I apologize when I noticed when we submitted our testimony that the number at the top was completely incorrect, so I apologize for that, but the content is relating to SB 513. So sorry about that.
Okay, thank you very much. Next, we have late testimony from Hawaii Farmers Union in support. Hunter Hevlin, are you present? No. Brian Miyamoto, Hawaii Farm Bureau in support.
Thank you, Chair. The Hawaii Farm Bureau was down on his written testimony in support.
Okay, thank you very much. Anybody else wishing to testify on SB 513? Seeing none, members, any questions? Seeing none, moving on. SB 520. First up, this is regarding relating to wastewater systems. First up, we have Department of Health providing comments.
Chair, Department of Health, we stand on our written testimony providing comments. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Next, we have Ted Boland providing comments.
Thank you, chairs, vice chairs, members of the committees. Ted Boland for the Hawaii Reef and Ocean Coalition. I have a narrow comment here, which is, first of all, we support the bill, but secondly, our concern, it's really more a comment than a support, I guess. We would like the bill to be amended because if you add a lot of bedrooms, you may overload the wastewater system and therefore pollute the groundwater. If you add bedrooms to a cesspool, you're definitely polluting the groundwater. So it's you know, you've got different goals here, but I would like the bill to be amended to have it's on line 9, page 1, to add after individual wastewater system, quote, provided further that the department shall not approve additional dwelling units that would exceed the capacity of the individual wastewater system unless the capacity of the system is expanded adequately. Thank you very much for the opportunity to testify. Available for questions.
Thank you very much. Next, we have Douglas Parent providing comments. Anybody else wishing to testify on SB 520? Okay, seeing none, members, any questions? Next up, SB 738, Department of Health providing, 738 relating to wastewater management again, providing comments, Department of Health.
John Nagato, on behalf of the Department of Health, the department stands on its written testimony providing comments. Thank you.
Next up, Hawaii, Ted Boland in support.
Thank you very much, chairs, vice chairs, members of the committees. Ted Boland for Hawaii Reef and Ocean Coalition. Again, I support this bill, but have some proposed amendments. We've learned in recent years how dangerous PFAS is, and I think we're at the point where we really need to look hard before we're applying any land application of sludge from wastewater treatment plants, because they often contain PFAS. So you got my written testimony. I've got some amendments to propose. I think a new definition of PFAS is needed because a lot of things would slip through the definition that's currently in place. And so I propose some specific language that you can see there. I won't read it now just because of the time. I think it's important that we have testing from qualified laboratories, and so I've included an amendment about that. So with those two amendments, thank you very much.
Next up, Environmental Caucus of the Democratic Party of Hawaii in support. Melody Aduha.
Thank you very much, Chair, both chairs, and Vice Chair Kino. Aloha. My name is Melody Aduha, and I am a co-chair of the Environmental Caucus of Hawaii. And I'd like to let you know that in 2022, Maine has banned the spreading of PFAS contaminated sludge as fertilizer, setting a precedent for similar legislation in Hawaii. Now, we have to look at Schofield Wastewater Treatment Facility. This facility treats 5 military installations: Schofield Barracks, Fort Shafter, Aliamanu Military Reservation, Fort DeRussy, Tripler Army Medical Center. Aqua Engineers sells these reclaimed water and sludge for agricultural purposes without testing for PFAS, raising concerns about health risk, environmental impacts, and food safety. Now, the health risk, PFAS is persistent chemicals and can accumulate in the human body, leading to serious health issues. And it can also accumulate in soil and water, posing risk to wildlife in the ecosystem. And it's also contaminated.
So Melody, you need to wrap up. We have a lot of people.
Okay, all right. Okay, so reclaimed water, this is the most important thing, that sludge can lead to PFAS uptake by crops and entering the food chain. So that is our main concern. There's several, there's quite a bit of states, as in my testimony, that
And we have
indicates.
your written testimony. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much,
Okay,
Chair.
next
Thank you,
up,
Chair.
We have Braha, Ruth Ann Tarlitz, again, Environmental Caucus, Democratic Party, Hawaii. In support, Mike Ewell, in support for Energy Justice Network. Douglas Perrin, in support. B.A. McClintock, in support. Dylan Okihiro, in support. Bonnie Fraser, in support. Patricia Blair, in support. Ann Knowles, in support. Judy McCluskey, in support. Lona Holmes, in support. Sherry McPulloch, in support. Joe DiNardo, in support. City and County of Honolulu, in opposition. Not present. Alan Burdick, Democratic Party Health Committee, in support. Alan, are you present on Zoom? Alan?
Not present on Zoom, Chair.
Okay, thank you very much. Next, William South, in support. Anybody else wishing to testify on SB 738? Come on up. You have 1 minute.
Chair Gabbard, Chair San Buenaventura. My name is Kathy Mitchell with the Board of Water Supply, and we stand on our testimony in support of SB 738.
And that's the late testimony provided to us.
Yes.
Thank you. Everyone received the late testimony of Board of Water Supply.
Sorry. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Anybody else wishing to testify on SB 738? Seeing none, members, any questions? Seeing none, moving on. SB 1591 relating to avian flu. First up, Department of Health, in support. Thank you very much. Thank you. Afshin Siddiqui for DLNR, in support.
Yeah, we stand on our testimony in support and happy to answer any questions.
Okay, thank you very much. Next, we have Hawaii Department of Agriculture providing comments. Next, we have Hawaii Department of Agriculture in support. Isaac Maeda. Are you present, Isaac?
Not present on Zoom, Chair.
Okay. Next up, Dr. Lewin, Hawaii State Department Planning and Development Agency in support. Dr. Lewin, I don't see him. Moving on. Scott Enright, Villa, Rose Wailua Eggs in support. Scott? No. Brian Miyamoto, Hawaii Farm Bureau in support.
Thank you, Chair. The Hawaii Farm Bureau will stand on its written testimony in support.
Thank you very much. Lauren Zerval, Hawaii Food Industry Association in support. Lauren, are you present? I see. Thank you very much. Hawaii Veterinary Medical Association in support. Hunter Hevlin, Hawaii Farmers Union in support. Cheryl Toyofuku in opposition. Cheryl. Okay.
Aloha, Senators. My name is Cheryl Toyofuku, and I'm in strong opposition of this bill. I'm a mom, I'm a grandmother, a retired RN, 30 years in natural non-toxic, so I quit hospital nursing. I strongly oppose this bill because it's relating to the avian influenza, with funds being questionably appropriate to the Department of Health and Department of Agriculture to respond to it, whether it is the avian bird flu or the swine flu, monkeypox, or other viral outbreak. Being trumpeted by government or media, these hyped and alarming fears are perpetuated unto the public. Research discloses the collaboration of government, state departments, certain industries, and drug companies that immensely benefit financially and profit greatly from the frightened frenzy created. Legislative bills are fast-tracked to appropriate funds to respond pharmaceutical drugs such as the historical Tamiflu, other antiviral drugs, or genetically engineered toxic vaccines are already on stock or quickly developed with allocation of funds to develop questionable solutions such as the vaccines. Instead, the appropriated funds should go towards healthier programs to improve our natural immunity. The sum appropriate, there's a question, there's a blank for the amount that's going to be appropriate to Department of Health, so I'm definitely in opposition of this bill. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next, we have Doris Siegel Matsunaga in support, Douglas Perrin in support, Lois Cruiser in support, Jacob Wynock in support, Hawaii for Informed Consent, Renee DePiernick in opposition. Anybody else wishing to testify on SB 1591 regarding avian flu? Seeing none, members, any questions? Seeing none, are we ready for decision making?
Yep.
We have quorum here, so you're up first.
Okay, we will get, going back to the beginning of the 2 p.m. agenda on SB 271 relating to statewide composting. The chair's recommendation will be to defer decision-making. We still have some things that we're looking at until Monday, February 10th at 1:01 p.m. here, not here, but in room 224. Next is SB 1298 relating to recycling, having to deal with covered electronic devices. The chair's recommendation will be to pass with amendments. Any discussion? Chair votes aye. Vice Chair?
On Senate Bill 1298, passing with amendments, Chair votes aye, Vice Chair votes aye. Senator DeCoit?
Aye.
Senator Rhodes?
Aye.
Senator Awa?
Aye.
Chair, we have 5 in favor, motion is adopted.
Thank you very much. Moving on
Wait
to.
a second.
Oh, I'm sorry. Excuse me.
HHS, I request clarification as to amendments. Are those just tech amendments?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. For HHS, Chair's recommendation is the same, to pass with tech amendments. Any comments, questions, concerns for HHS? Seeing none, Vice Chair for the vote.
Okay, Senate Bill 1298, recommendation of the chair to pass with amendments. Chair and Vice Chair vote aye. Senator Hashimoto. Aye. Senator Kolole. Aye. Senator Favela is excused. Recommendation is adopted, Chair.
Okay, moving on to SB 1633 relating to hemp. Yeah, we're still working on this one as well, so we will defer decision-making for AEN until Monday, February 10th at 1:01 p.m. in room 224. And then moving on to SB 984, dealing with water runoff. The chair's recommendation will be to pass with tech amendments. Any discussion? Chair votes aye.
On Senate Bill 984, passing with amendments, Chair votes aye, Vice Chair votes aye. Senator DeCoit?
Aye.
Senator Rhodes?
Aye.
Senator Awa?
Aye.
Chair, 5 in favor, motion is adopted.
Thank you, members. Turn it over to you, Chair.
Okay, for HHS, same recommendation to pass with tech amendments. Any comments, questions, concerns for HHS? Seeing none, Vice Chair for the vote. Chair votes aye.
Okay, Senate Bill 984, recommendation of the chair to pass as a SD1. 4 members are present. Any reservations? Any noes? Recommendation is adopted.
Okay, for HHS, SB 513, Chair's recommendation is to pass this with the Department of Health's proposed amendments. Any comments, questions, or concerns? Seeing none, Vice Chair for the vote.
Okay, Senate Bill 513, recommendation of the chair to pass with amendments. 4 members are present. Any reservations? Any noes? Recommendation is adopted, Chair.
Same recommendation for AEN, SB 513. Any discussion? Chair votes aye.
Senate Bill 513, passing with amendment, Chair votes aye, Vice Chair votes aye. Senator DeCoit?
Aye.
Senator Rhodes?
Aye.
Senator Awa?
Aye.
Chair, you have 5 in favor,
Thank you,
motion is
members.
adopted.
No. Oh. Okay, we can announce that for HHS.
Yeah.
Chair's recommendation for SB 271 is to defer indefinitely for HHS. So for,
So on SB 271, we will be deferring indefinitely.
Sorry,
That's okay.
I don't like invasive species.
Okay.
Okay, so for SB, moving on for SB, where the heck on? 520. Relating to wastewater systems. Chair's recommendation is to accept Department of Health amendments. Any comments, questions, or concerns? Seeing none, Vice Chair for the vote.
Okay, Senate Bill 520, recommendation of the chair is to pass with amendments. Okay, 4 members are present. Any reservations? Any noes? Recommendation is adopted, Chair.
Same recommendation for AEN. Any discussion? Chair votes aye.
Senate Bill 520, passing with amendments, chair votes aye, vice chair votes aye, Senator Coit.
Aye.
Senator Rhodes.
Aye.
Senator Wah. Aye. 5 in favor, motion
Thank you,
adopted.
members.
Okay, for SB 738, Chair's recommendation is to pass this also with amendments. We're gonna accept Department of Health amendments, and we're also gonna accept Hawaiian Ocean and Reef amendments solely on the definition of PFAS. We're gonna also add in a defective date to continue the conversation. Any comments, questions, or concerns? Seeing none, Vice Chair for the vote.
Okay, Senate Bill 738, recommendation is to pass with amendments. 4 members are present. Any reservations? Any noes? Recommendation is adopted, Chair.
Same recommendation for AEN. Any discussion? Chair votes aye.
Senate Bill 738, passing with amendment, chair votes aye, vice chair votes aye, Senator Coit.
Aye.
Senator Rhodes.
Aye.
Senator Wah. Aye. 5 in favor, motion
Thank you,
adopted.
members.
So, sorry, my clerk informed me that there's also the deferred decision-making on SB 1633 relating to hemp. We will agree with, AEN for HHS and defer decision-making on SB 1633 to February 10th at 1:01 PM in room 225. So for SB
I already
15,
said- Excuse me.
yeah, we said that
On
already.
271, I already said that.
Thank you. For SB 1591, Chair's recommendation is to pass this with Department of Health amendments. Any comments, questions, or concerns? Oh, and to include in the appropriation and the committee report, the $293,000 requested by Department of Ag. Any comments, questions, or concerns? Seeing none, Vice Chair for the vote.
Okay, Senate Bill 1591, recommendation is to pass as a Senate Draft 1. 4 members are present. Any reservations? Any noes? Recommendation is adopted, Chair.
Same recommendation for AEN. Any discussion? Chair votes aye.
Senate Bill 1591, passing with amendment, chair votes aye, vice chair votes aye, Senator Coit.
Aye.
Senator Rhodes. Senator Wah. Aye. You have 5 in favor, adopted.
Thank you, members. All right, and that concludes the agenda.